Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You probably released like one of the feel-good songs of the summer recently with Whiskey Where Your Mouth Is. Was that always the intention?
I would say yes and no. I always liked the song. It was supposed to be on the Devil EP, but didn't feel like it fit. So that went out August 20th last year. So yeah, we were kind of just hanging on to it. Didn't feel like, kind of forgot about it, to be honest, when we made Country Punk, but still I would not have put it on there. And then I was over Christmas, I was just going through old songs that we kind of just passed on, be it for one of the two projects, just for fun, whichever ones I had left in our folder. And that one came across. I mean, we had that one mixed and mastered and ready to go. So I kind of was listening to it, and I put on the speaker, and I didn't tell anybody. I was my fiance was there, my mom was around, and I kind of just put it on, and it's my voice on it, and they're all looked at me like, "What's this? Where did this come from?" And I said, "Oh, this was supposed to be out this year, and we decided not to, but what do you guys think?" And they're like, "This is great." And I thought so too when I listened back to it with fresh ears. So said, let's, it kind of feels like a party, kind of feels like maybe a house party. So I said, there's a couple of guys here that are doing alternative country as well in Nashville, and figured they'd be a good fit to add to the song, kind of really make it feel like a house party, and kind of, hammer that idea home. And they crushed it. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun doing the content for it. We got to play live together too, which was awesome. So yeah, thanks, man.
So how are the crowds kind of reacting to it? Because you're getting to actually play music live again. How are the reactions going to that one? Is it how you wanted it?
Yeah, so we played it before it came out, before I left for tour in Canada. It came out while we were on tour. The sound guys, when we walked in the sound check, one of the guys had put it through the speakers the day it came out, which was pretty awesome. And through the crew, it got pretty cool response. We got, I think, 20,000 listeners on it, or streams on it, in the first week, which I think is the quickest we've gotten to that number. So I think it's really cool. I mean, it's not meant to take seriously. It's supposed to be a fun kind of chill little song. So I hope people take it that way and are enjoying it while they're drinking some cold beer on a hot day.
It's definitely that today. So it's already up to like 50,000 streams. As you said, are you kind of watching it go, or you just kind of let it do its thing now?
My manager updates me on the milestone ones. So the ones that go real quick, 10K in the first weekend, I think was the quickest we've ever gotten. And then it, we kind of got a little bit over 20 for the whole week. So obviously, the numbers people say numbers don't matter. Sometimes they do. I don't know. But to me, it indicates that people kind of gravitated to it pretty quick and are enjoying the song. So that's really all I care about.
You teamed up with Cody Parks and PJ North for the track. How did that collaboration kind of come about?
I love what Cody's doing. We've seen him play. I've known of Cody for a little bit, just throughout Nashville and alternative kind of country guys doing stuff. He hosts he's got a residency at one of the bars here once every month, and in December we played with him. He calls it Filthy Fridays. It's every Friday. So it's on Fridays once a month. And he kind of puts the lineup together. It's either a couple of songwriting rounds or bands, like 3 bands, and he closes the night with his band, and they're incredible. They're doing country metal, which is phenomenal. It is exactly what you think it would be, is what they're doing, and they're crushing it. So I thought that it would make sense to I always like the juxtaposition. If taking country punk and what Cody's doing with metal, you'd think it'd be a really, really loud song, but we ended up just making a super fun kind of song, and that's cool. So when we were in studio talking about it, well, I just hit him up because I'd known him from having played his Filthy Fridays, and then we were in studio talking about it, and with PJ as well. I've known PJ, same idea, through the kind of idea of who's doing alternative country. And so I've met him before and hung out with him. So they were really easy asks to put in. And then when we were all in studio kind of cutting the vocals, we were talking to Cody about maybe doing one of his Filthy Fridays with all 3 of us. So PJ went first and I went in the middle. And then for my last song, we played with Put Your Whiskey Where Your Mouth Is, and they both came out. And we got a little jam together. So that was really cool. You know, and so I was very curious to see what the response on it would be. We had put out playback not too long before that, and then we went on tour. But people were having fun too without knowing what it was. So that was a pretty good indication. But again, you never know. I mean, we've had ideas where this, you know, we had songs that are like, this is going to be this is the best song on the project. And it didn't do that. So I just kind of stopped. I just hope for the best. And, you know, it is what it is. It's songs I want to sing live and want to have fun too. So, if people enjoy it, it's, you know, it's incredible.
So you've obviously like previously sort of collaborated with artists. Is this something you kind of want to continue doing and that you like doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what I would really love to do is kind of carve myself into a space of this is what Manny does, and if ever it's needed on a song, and go, hey, you know, this would be great for a specific thing that Manny does. That would be cool to bring something to somebody else's song. As far as my own, you know, I think it's really interesting because I have collaborations with my buddy Blaine Holcomb, who doesn't do. He's straight down the middle country and loves 90s country and is exactly that. And that's awesome. And I got him for a song called Circle Up, which is a lot heavier than anything he's ever done. So I thought that was really cool to get him into an area where it's not expected of him. And he also said yes before I sent him the song because he's just a buddy. So that was cool. But then, you know, Ballet was kind of an interesting, different take on it because it was a song that's kind of softer, more acoustic than anything I've put out or been continuing to put out. Obviously, we're going to have dynamics in projects, but there was something about it that I just felt was missing. And I called Brittany Kendall because it's kind of right in her wheelhouse of the acoustic kind of love storytelling, the slide guitar and all that kind of thing. So I said, you know what, this would be great, as a female duet. And then as well as it's kind of more in her wheelhouse of what she does. So to bring her onto one of my songs that is, you know, in her space was kind of my idea. And I almost didn't put it on the project till I heard her voice on it. And I said, you know what? Okay, let's go. So
you've recently kind of finished a huge tour north of the border with Dallas Smith. How has it been getting to go back on stage night after night at these massive arenas that he does?
It's insane. I mean, all of it was insane. It was the biggest tour I've ever been on. You know, it's just exactly what you dream of doing. And you know, having the guy at the top being Dallas Smith, who's just such a genuine person, who is, you know, always every time he saw us, he goes, "You guys good? Anything you need?" And I mean, headliners don't have to do that. His band doesn't have to be as cool as they were with us, and you know, I think it all comes from the top. And I think if Dallas is the way he is, and it kind of all trickles down. So the crew was awesome. The bands were awesome. James Barker band, we got to hang with them a little bit too. And those guys are, those guys are some, we got, oh yeah, we got some time with Connor, the drummer. He's a special cat in the best way possible. So,
the dreams, you know, with them.
Oh, they certainly do. Yeah. Yeah, Megan Patrick was out there with us for a bit too, and that's another. You know, she's another unique personality. So, I think the first night we were together, I had shots with Connor and Megan, and it was just like all the wheels fell off at that point. So, and I think, you know what, it kind of set the tone for how fun the tour was going to be, and it certainly was. I mean, I think that it was a family, there was a camaraderie, and JoJo was saying the same thing. He's like, "Yo, I don't want to wake up and not see everybody," you know. Tomorrow when we were on our last show. So it kind of sets the tone for, you know, it kind of early on set the tone for how good the vibe was going to be throughout the whole tour, and just the learning experience it was you know, you can't buy that and you can't pretend. So it was just incredible.
How good an opportunity was it then for an up and coming artist to get approached for such a big tour like that?
It was huge. I met Dallas back in 2019 here in Nashville at CRS week, and we've gone back and forth a couple of times, and he's always been super supportive and super kind to me. And I guess the opportunity showed up, and you know, I think it was a great fit. Him coming from his background, and you know, they play they play loud. They play rock and roll, and it's awesome. So it was super cool to, when I first came to Nashville, it's not even a joke. They said, you're Canadian. There's going to be opportunity. This was 2018, I think, when I came down to Nashville, and they said, hey, you're Canadian, so there's going to be opportunities in Canada. Who's at the top of your list? And I said, bar none, Dallas Smith. So the fact that, just a few years later, I'm sitting on the couch, I get a call from my manager at 8 p.m. on a Monday, which never happens. Either it's super good or the house is on fire. So something's going on. And so I answered the call, and he goes, hey, bud, just real quick, you want to go on tour with Dallas Smith? And super casual. And I was like, I just froze. My fiance was hanging with me, and I was like, she didn't know if it was good or bad, because I'm like, this is weird. He's calling me at this hour. But you know what? It worked out to be such an unbelievable experience. Just watching them do their thing every night. Even, Megan didn't have an easy slot. She came out, did a duet with Dallas, and then did 2 of her own songs, and then bounced, right? And she came out for those 3 songs on absolute fire. And, it just shows, like, usually you like to take a couple of songs, you get into it, you open with something that's, maybe easy, it's cool, it's fun, it's exciting, and you work your way into the set. She just came out cold, and 3 songs crushed it and dipped out. And, it's ultimate professionalism and skill and just being an incredible performer. So, yeah, like I said, it was just an unbelievable experience to just be part of that. And then also to feel like we belong, we fit in that unit. It wasn't like, let's just bring Manny along and hope for the best. I mean, I feel like we did a really good job, and we participated, and the crew had loved it. And JoJo was out watching us every night, and before he went on. So it was really cool to experience all that, for sure.
You've obviously got that punk sound, which, and as you say, Dallas got that kind of rockier sound. So when you've only got those few songs to get your sound across, kind of how did those fans sort of take to it?
Yeah, some were more into it than others. I think it took certain crowds a little bit of time to warm up to it. We only had about 5 songs, so by song 3 we played Valet, and then we did Playback and Train on the way out. And I think by Playback, you kind of show. We started off with Circle Up and Doing Fine, and then I think it was kind of like they're trying to understand what's going on. Then we bring it down to Ballet. So I think by that point, they're starting to understand that it's not just in your face the whole time. There's some dynamics to what I'm doing, and there's some reason to it, I guess. And then we just finished nice and big and walked off. So it handed the stage to either JoJo or Sean. And it was great to have that time to just go in full energy for 15 minutes, just go as hard as we can, and then and bounce. So yeah, I think there's certain crowds that reacted way better than others. I think it took a little bit of time, but I think by the end, every time we left on Train, I think they were in. It felt really good.
You released your country punk EP back in December, which is very much better timing than your last EP. You actually obviously got to perform the music and do a bit of a release. So
yeah.
How kind of different was it this time around compared to New Ink?
It was cool. We had 2 EPs, so we had 10 songs. We had from 10 songs to choose from for any shows that we had done since we released these 2. So a little mix and match is always cool. I like, obviously, like I said, dynamics in a set, whether it's 15, 45, 30, 60 minutes, no matter. You want to put on a performance that takes the audience through a journey. And I think through the 10 songs, we can certainly do that. So being able to have 2 EPs and everything start to open up was super cool, to be able to really access and play all of these songs live and let them breathe a little bit.
You're crossing the pond to finally bring your sound to Nashville meets London. So what have you been told to expect while you're over here?
Nobody really said anything. I think I just got a lot of people saying how excited they are, and as am I. I mean, when I came to Nashville, I said that I wanted to be, the concept was to be a global artist, was to be to tour in Canada, to tour in the US, to tour in the UK and Australia and wherever else the tours and shows take us. So I never wanted to be kind of stuck on one idea, like it has to break in Nashville, or it has to, be in Canada, or whatever it is. It's just, I want to play where people want me to play. And that's always kind of been the idea. So to finally, we've been wanting to come to the UK since I think 2019. So to finally be able to come out and experience it, and see what the country is like in the UK, and is super exciting. It's a new adventure, it's a new opportunity, and I'm super stoked about it.
You're definitely going to find that the crowd here, they listen quite a lot, and at the
Cool.
same time they'll know the music. So even though you won't have been in before, they'll still know songs, and you'll still see people sing along.
That's awesome.
But what do you think people can expect then from your show here?
We got I think we're doing the acoustic thing on the 22nd, and then we got the 24th to just blow the roof off the place. So we're gonna come in super excited, and gonna leave it all on stage for one show. So we are excited. We have the band's been forever kind of evolving, and I think we've got the best lineup right now as far as band and crew. So I think it's going to be, we're doing a 3-day run here this weekend in North and South Carolina with this unit. And I think as we move, it's only going to get better. So we've got quite a bit coming, but I'm super excited to take this crew on the road and really do what we do, because I think it's the first time that everybody's on the same page and everybody understands what I want from the show. So on paper, it should be the best shows that we've played so far. So I'm looking forward to having, a few in, and then being able to come blow the roof off the place in the UK.
You're going to kind of be the latest Canadian that's heading over here. We seem to have a mass of all these Canadians. Like just this year, we had kind of Matt Lang and Dan Davidson, Tennille Arts, Towns Tabe, Moskaluk. They're all coming to this UK market. It's kind of how good is it to be able to add your name to that?
It's great. Like I said, to be able to, participate on a lineup with all of them is great, whether it be Canadians, Americans, and everything in between. So I'm just super excited to finally get over, first and foremost, because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and the time finally came. So I just want to make the most of this opportunity to be able to kind of show the UK fans that we're here, we're loud, we're having fun, and I just want everyone to have a good time. So let's do that.
Prior to making music, I understand you're an MMA fighter. Is that right?
I was. There has
to be ice hockey somewhere in there, surely.
Sorry, ice hockey? Yeah, I still play. That's always been, I grew up, I started playing hockey at 4 years old. Started skating at 2. So that's always been cool. My fiance played professional women's hockey in Montreal. So yeah, we still play here in Nashville from time to time. Schedule's getting a little more challenging to make that happen, but we play on a team here every Sunday nights whenever we can make it out, and so that's still around. But getting punched in the face, I've kind of put that to the side.
When you were there injured from, as you said, being punched in the face, you're on the sofa thinking, "What on earth am I going to do next?" Did you have a plan of where to go?
Well, no, I didn't. My plan was to do MMA the rest of my life till I picked up a guitar. People started enjoying hearing me play and had a bunch of songs they wanted me to play. And I learned really quick and played a kind of a half-assed version of it. But either way, it was always cool to have people hand me a guitar and go, "We want to hear you play and do this." And I was like, you know what? This is a lot cooler than the adrenaline's still there. It's still the same adrenaline. Less fear, and a lot more fun. So, you put all that aside, and I feel like it was a good decision. The calluses on the fingers from the guitar strings don't hurt as bad as getting punched in the face and kicked in the legs. So, but I do watch it. I still watch. I still keep in touch with the UFC. I still know what's going on for the most part. Probably not as intense as I used to, but I'll watch fights and I'll see gaps and I'll see holes, and I'm like, and actually it happened this weekend, and I was yelling at the TV, and my fiance had walked by and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, she goes, "Do you even know who's fighting?" I'm like, "I don't even know these two guys, but I see the gap." And then the guy who should have taken advantage of it ended up getting choked out unconscious. So he messed up there. But I still get super amped and excited, and I still see, the ideas and the strategies are still in my head when I watch it. And I'm like, man, if I was there, and it's like, I think about all the stuff I had to do to get there. And I'm like, I'll just sit on the couch with a beer instead.
And I'm sure your family's probably more happy that, your show now ends with a beer rather than in hospital.
Oh, my mom loves coming to shows now rather than coming to fights, for sure. Yeah, no, she says, take the guitar and do whatever you want with it. It's way better than fighting. So, it's when I wanted to make that switch, I think the support was was pretty unanimous on that.
Coming from Montreal, are you more a Canadiens fan, or are you now kind of swaying towards Predators being based in Nashville?
I grew up like a Habs fan, and then I didn't like the way that Patrick Roy had left the team. Finding out the history, I wasn't born at the time, but I didn't like that they retired his number without him ever apologizing to the city. Stopped cheering for them before moving to Nashville for that reason. But I would go to the games and cheer for the away team. So I would go to the games that I'd like to see either players or cheer for the away team, like Toronto or Boston, which are rivals. But having moved to Nashville, I become a Titans fan and a Preds fan pretty quick. For a while, I was always a Peyton Manning fan and I didn't know who to cheer for when he retired. So I kind of stopped watching football for a little bit, tried to get into teams, but when there's no actual connection, it makes you kind of don't care. So moving to Nashville, they weren't very good at the time. And so my friends made fun of me, and now Derrick Henry popped off. So that's cool. And same with the Preds. I was cheering for away teams, but when you move to the city, it's like, cool, I'm here now. This is my home moving forward, and they have sports, so let's cheer.
Well, it's fine. My team, with the jersey there, they're falling apart at the seams at the minute. So.
Oh my God,
Calgary just collapsing.
So we played at the Saddle Dome where they play on the Dallas Smith tour, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Walking around backstage where it's all the players' access, and so we walked by. Nobody used their dressing room, but they have like this big kind of marble on the door, and then the two sliding doors that open with the Flames logo on it. All the coffee cups had Flames logo on it, and it's just everything was red, bright red. So I mean, it was you take a step back for a minute and just kind of go like, this is everything you work for and everything you want to do. And it happened to be that and MTS where the Jets play. Similar idea. Everything was blue and had Jets logos on them. But I mean, it's kind of crazy to be in an NHL hockey arena, shit that I watch all the time, and to be out there and on a stage that people are want to touch your hands, want you to grab a selfie with them while you're singing a song and things like that is really a surreal experience and hard to put into words, but so thankful and grateful I got to do it.
So did you have a bit of a daydream moment backstage that you're actually walking around in your full NHL hockey gear, ready to go on the ice, not the stage?
Yeah. Oh, and I was trying to find where they walk out. I saw the door. I'm like, wait, what's the entrance? How far do they walk that way or that? Like, and there's a lot of downtime when you're on the road. So we were able to, and we did it in every arena, but I mean, some are, more awesome than others. And the Saddle Dome being one of the awesome ones where we don't do anything till we get there at 8 a.m. We don't do anything till 5 o'clock. So sound check. So we get to walk around the arena and get to look at everything and kind of get a sense of where we are and kind of what this arena looks like compared to some other ones. And so backstage walking around trying to see where the Flames come out. I think they come out from their bench. So I mean, it's so different to see it with all the black curtains around the boards, and you have a hard time. Like when you walk around, you start to see the penalty box. This is the bench, but a lot of the benches were removed. It's just like the space, and it was pretty wild.
Well, no, I'm looking forward to obviously catching up with you in London because I say we'll be at the show. So yeah, definitely
awesome.
Talk more hockey and football then. That's fine with me. Quite happy to do that, and MMA. So yeah, no, thank you so much for taking your time, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.